Robert Kennedy has said he loves the capitalist system. He's in love with it. It helps people who work wisely improve their lives. I have never in my life harmed somebody and then demanded that they give me money. McCartney wrote a book and then feloniously transferred blame to the book to somebody who he mutilated, but not as badly as those he killed, and said, collect from the one I mutilated. There was never any investigation. Now, that's the truth of the matter, but we're dealing with a cover story. The cover story is propped by professionals in deep media. So even when concerned with their own names in history and reputations, as called down to account and reckoning by no less than Martha Gellhorn, they persist in snubbing their responsibilities. For example, if there was a reputable journalist, they would point out that at first I thought it looked like Lenin's killers were trying to collect for their other victims from Lenin's estate. And I thought that something should be done to apprehend the people who killed him and who had victimized others, including myself. And if there was a liability involved, it would involve a class action by the victims directed at the perpetrators. But what I slowly was forced to understand was that they were targeting me as a joke from Derek Parfit on the ideas of Peter Singer. In other words, they were saying that no one is innocent, that a sheltered deaf white sect should be poached for the spinner beanies of the elite sect of UW dialectical sadists, Trumpy Toon Putinese, because there are people starving and dying in refugee boats, which is the drag. I don't like that. I've often lobbied my government to provide more help and assistance, especially in education. And I've devoted most of my free time to an attempt to help them and understand them. And I've also investigated the circumstances surrounding the Poacher Guild, who issued a proclamation of taking by force proceeds that they created a curiosity shop of torture to entertain victims that they created in the name of John Lennon. And that seemed strange to me. So I looked into it media logical wise and discovered that John Lennon was behind it, that he faked his death so they could do this. It doesn't really matter either way. I have never in my life harmed someone and then demanded money from them, ever. I've never done it. But they have tortured me. And I live in a society where supposedly there are laws. I should be entitled to compensation, and they must keep their hands off that compensation. I know what they did to the Kennedys. They murdered them. They never did anything like that to anybody else. It was the idealism of the Kennedys that they were targeting. It wasn't the money, but they claimed they were targeting the money because that's what turns them on. And you don't get to understand who they are either. They were anonymous, Antifa, and insurrectionist masks, and they poach, and they play both sides, Trumpy Toon Putinese, based on the idea that innocent people are liable to other innocent people who have been injured, maybe more than them. I don't buy it. The people who do the injury are responsible. See the difference? I did not injure anybody. Women were passing me around. McCartney misspelled my discussion of Greta and the Texas School Book, Greta and Texas School Book. In other words, the Texas School Book is designed to protect the little girls. like LAM, which stood for Lennon and McCartney, and the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, who was an attack prostitute conjured by Midori Goto, a Sicilian violinist who came on to me and rejected me, kicked me in the head in the neuroplasm and rejected me. This innocent little girl, the Texas school book is written to defend this innocent little girl who tortured me and kicked me in the head and lied about me and lied to me so that they could set up exploitation. I don't want to be a legal enemy of Greta Thunberg. I like her and I admire her. I used to love her, but we're incompatible. We're incompatible because of the economic circumstances of McCartney's sadism shop, his UW dialectical transfer of blame from the guilty to the innocent. See how it works? They transfer the blame from the guilty to the innocent. And Greta refuses to speak out against it. She's playing some game with Camilla to leave out. Who do you like more? We love McCartney. We're going to trick you into saying something by Ness. Sniffing her hair. Oh boy. Wait till Putin hears this. We're going to get you, queer ball. And it's all being run by Schwarzenegger, Attenborough, and McCartney. And I think people should get it through their heads that what I have said has been a public service. I have tried to explain to my peers what I have been up against and its implications for themselves. Read my poem, Homegirl. Read my essay, Barista Gate, and you understand that I have been trying to get through to the people at risk. These clever people at UW Dialectal poison me in the mouth because Touchy Blood Cornell Westman, his spinner beanie pooping on floors, his adjuvants poop on floors, I suspect, believes that is morally impermissible not to be biologically linked to the victims. In other words, you have no right to protect the at risk because, as Munyan Zappa says, one size fits all. They don't care if there's one victim, two victims, five victims, or a million victims. They must buy British records as a courtesy to the pimps who torture, murder, rape, and then transfer blame to other victims. That's it. There's nothing more to say to Seattle, Washington. Seattle, Washington is criminally insane.